Welcome back to Citizen Extra. Let's now take you back to State House, where 9 cabinet nominees are waiting to be sworn in after they went through a vetting process. And to give us more details about this process that is expected to start, or this event that is expected to start any minute now at State House, is Francis Gachuri. Gachuri, good morning. Tell us a little bit about what we can expect today in what we expect to be a very brief ceremony at State House.
Very brief but critically important function here at State House, Nairobi, Wahiga. The 9 cabinet secretaries will be taking their oath of office in a short while. That oath will be administered by Secretary to the Cabinet, Joseph Kinyua, and President Uhuru Kenyatta will be here, as well as his Deputy William Ruto, to witness as the CS designate take their oath of office, so that they can be handed officially their flags to take charge of the respective dockets for which they were nominated, vetted and approved by Parliament, and obviously now subsequently appointed, so that they can be able to take their oath of office. And remember, the cabinet is now fully constituted. Remember, there were 6 CSs who were retained by the president earlier on, and thereafter 6 more were retained, and then 9 cabinet nominees 9 more were nominated, and they went through the parliamentary vetting procedure as required by the appointments law, by the appointments committee chaired by Speaker of the National Assembly, Justin Muturi. A report was prepared and it was adopted by the House. And so they are now not cabinet nominees, but cabinet secretary designate. And once they take their oath of office, they will now become cabinet secretaries, so that they can be able to take charge of the respective ministries that they have been appointed to head. And remember, quite some work awaits them, Wahiga, bearing in mind that the president has already outlined his agenda for his second and last term in office. The 4 key pillars that he has identified to steer or to anchor his second term in office, namely food security, infrastructure development, issues of irrigation, and issues of health. Those are the key anchors of his second term in office. And so we expect them to take the oath of office in a short while, and thereafter the president is scheduled to head to Gilgil for the pass-out parade of the National Youth Service officers who will be who are recruited on, who will be passing out at the Gilgil NYS training school. So basically, a very short but critically important and significant function for the 9 cabinet secretaries, as well as their family members who have accompanied them this morning at State House, Nairobi.
Indeed, Francis Gachuri, some of the cabinet secretary designates have never served in public offices like that before. What sort of onboarding process can we expect so that they can be brought up to speed with procedures and how government works?
They have been going through various orientation processes even before they went for the vetting procedure. Remember, the moment they were nominated by the president, they have been going through various briefings in the respective dockets that they have been nominated to head. And you even saw it during the vetting procedures, where quite a number of them were able to exhibit quite some knowledge about the various ministries that they have been nominated to head. And that is one of the reasons why the Parliamentary Appointments Committee even approved the nomination, even though critics have said that it was merely a rubber stamping exercise. But be it as it may, but they have been taken through various briefings. But after that, they will obviously be going through various induction processes, and to be briefed largely on what appertains the respective dockets that they will be handling. And remember, cabinet secretaries, what you'd say are the apex of the ministries. Below them are many officers, and who they will be expected to coordinate in terms of delivery of services in the respective ministries that they have been they will be taking oath of office to head. And so it's more of a question of teamwork and how they're able to steer the respective dockets that they have been appointed, or they will be appointed to take charge of. And more importantly, how they'll be able to coordinate activities in those ministries and align them with the Jubilee Manifesto, as well as the government agenda in terms of delivering President Uhuru Kenyatta's second term legacy. And they will also be expected to be out there to be the spokespersons of their respective ministries, to show the public what exactly they are doing in their respective dockets. And so, especially for those who are coming from the private sector, they will be expected to learn the ropes of the ministries quickly and fast enough so that they can be able to take charge. And remember, the expectations are higher now. bearing in mind that Kenyans have been able to see what was achieved by the cabinet secretaries in the first term of the president. And so they have a template, so to say, in terms of who was able to successfully steer the dockets that they have been nominated and appointed to head. And so they can maybe learn from the best practices there and be able to take charge of the ministries that they have been appointed to take to head. But of course, there will be a more intense scrutiny, especially from the members of public. I remember members of the public now are more discerning. They're able to follow what is happening. They're able to tell what is happening, and they can be able to easily tell which ministry is working and which cabinet secretary is sleeping on the job.
Okay, Francis Gachuri, for the last 50 minutes or so, we've been telling our viewers that this event is going to kick off shortly. Are we close to that shortly, or any indication that they're about to get started?
I would want to believe so, that we are closer and closer to that function, because when you look around, you can see the presidential standard is up, and I've even spotted the deputy president's vehicles around here. So I want to imagine that they are in a meeting before they come for this function. Remember, the diary is normally very compact because of a series of events the head of state has to address, and we are told he's addressing one of them. Then he will be coming here to witness the swearing in of the cabinet secretaries, and thereafter he will be proceeding to other government functions that have been lined up for the head of state. So let's keep waiting, and as soon as that shortly arrives, definitely our viewers will be able to spot it on TV, because we'll be beaming this event live from State House.
Gachuri, I know I told you finally, but it's never really finally. Just one last one there. These cabinet secretary designates, until they become CSs after that function, have a much shorter time to work. There was the repeat election, and then the delay in naming this cabinet as well. What does that say about how quickly they need to move into action, how little time they have to deliver what they promised during the vetting, and how much pressure they'll be under?
They have no option. They have to undertake exactly what they have been appointed to do, and do it as quickly as possible and as efficiently as possible. I remember government is, the way government works is that it works in perpetuity. It continues to work even as elections continue and many other activities. So the ministries have been going on. All that happens now is that they will be more coordinated in terms of leadership, because the cabinet secretaries will now take oath of office so that they can continue to coordinate and steer the respective ministries that they will be appointed to head. And so they have no option. Remember, during the vetting procedures, quite a number of questions were raised.
It seems we have a challenge with your sound. We have no option but to cut you off for now. But thank you for that update, and we'll be going back to State House as soon as the swearing-in ceremony begins. Let's now take you